What's up, Comic Frontline? It's Mr. J here, and I am back once again to do a movie review for you guys. I just came back from seeing The Martian, the newest film from Ridley Scott, starring Matt Damon. And let me just start off by saying this movie was great. I really enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I hopped on the hype train a couple months before the movie came out, and both myself and Mimi Morgenstein17, who writes for Comic Frontline's website, we both read the book at the same time because we're doing the whole book babble thing, and we were reading a lot of stuff at once, and so we decided to audiobook The Martian, and it was great. We both really enjoyed the book, and I enjoying the book as much as I did, it set my expectations really high for this movie. But I'm happy to say that this movie really met my met my expectations and then some. First of all, let me do a non-spoiler section and then go into spoilers later on. So, pretty much, this movie is about, for those of you guys who don't know what The Martian is about, it's about this astronaut named Mark Watney. Now, Mark Watney is part of this team of astronauts that are, exploring Mars, trying to collect samples, routine scientific research. Every few years they send people to Mars to try and collect samples and things like that. Normal scientific research for NASA at least. And they're there for a couple of days, and all of a sudden, they get hit with a sandstorm, and they're forced to abort the mission. Now, Mark Watney, he gets hit by some debris, and they believe that Watney is dead. So, having no choice, the crew is forced to leave Mars, and what they believe is to leave Mark Watney's body behind. And now, fortunately for Mark, he actually survives the sandstorm, and he manages to get back on his feet. Unfortunately for him, he has no contact with NASA, a limited supply of food and water, and even if he could get in contact with NASA, it would take up to 4 years to get a manned mission to come back and get him. And that's not really a spoiler because that's pretty much what you get in the trailers. Yeah, so that's pretty much the story of The Martian. This is really kind of it's like Castaway meets Interstellar, is how I put it, but a lot of people say Castaway meets Apollo 13, which I can also see. It's a survival story, your classic man versus nature type deal, and it's one of those things. It's also like a triumph to the human spirit, a love letter to human ingenuity, and it's really one of the biggest messages of this movie is kind of the value of human life and how much people and like the world itself values the human life. How much because the world was like mesmerized by the story of Mark Watney, this one man that could survive alone on this desolate planet, and it's really cool. I like that a lot. Great performances. One thing that I really liked about the book that translated perfect almost. You know what? Yeah, it did translate perfectly into the movie. Was Matt Damon's performance as Mark Watney? Because what I love about Mark Watney is a extremely extremely optimistic person, like one of the most optimistic people on the planet. And he takes these situations and he tries to be like really sarcastic. He's freaking hilarious. And that's not to say that there aren't some tense situations. Ridley Scott does those very well, as we've known him to do with classic Ridley Scott sci-fi. And when you see the tension in these situations, Damon really brings it through. And it's just, I love how he balances Mark's snark and sarcasm with his just drive to survive. And it's really cool how he just has the perfect skill set to actually survive for this long. And I really enjoyed that. Another thing that I enjoyed, I like the performances from the people at NASA. These guys are just scrambling to get this astronaut home as soon as they find out he's alive. They're doing everything they can, and you can sorry. You can really feel the pressure that they're under to get Mark home. And the guy who plays Vincent Kapoor, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I don't want to butcher it, but he was in the Serenity movie. He was pretty awesome. Like, he was one of the standouts for the NASA cast, and I really enjoyed his performance. He really carried the whole NASA sections. And NASA and Mars was balanced very well. I was kind of worried how much they would use each, and if NASA would really kind of cut into the Mars time. It did at a couple parts, but for those particular portions, I didn't mind it. And I like the uses of montages in this because, like, I understand the book. We got to get into more detail, and it was a lot of slow and methodical calculations. But there was a lot of I liked how they used the montages to actually really improve the pacing. Because I thought if they were going to do it like the book, it would kind of drag. But the use of montages really helped it. Um, and it was just really cool. Ridley Scott did a great job at making Mars look amazing in this movie, so that was great. One of the other biggest parts of this movie is, I would say, the crew. I also really enjoyed the casting of the crew and the crew's performances. We got Michael Pena as Colonel Martinez, who is awesome in this. When I was reading the book, I was thinking, Michael Pena would be great as Martinez, and Jessica Chastain would be great as Commander Lewis. And both of those two got casted in those respective roles. So I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. And I went in blind. I did not even know who was in the cast other than Matt Damon before I actually saw the movie. So that was cool. Kate Mara is also in this movie. I find it funny that she's actually in a movie as part of a crew of space explorers that get kind of thrust into this tragedy, but persevere, save their friend, and their crew is very tight knit. You can feel the camaraderie. You don't get to see too much of the crew in Watney, except for at the end. But when you hear them talk about Watney, and when they do actually get into contact with Watney, and you see the crew themselves, you can really tell, even with the limited screen time, how much of a family they are. How close these people have become, through their training and their missions and stuff. So I thought that was really well done. Something else, I just have to mention this. Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, for those of you guys who are fans of his music, he shows up in this movie, and he low-key saves the day. I'm not gonna spoil how, but he played a really cool role in here. It's a minor part, but also it's one of the biggest parts because he provides one of the keys to bringing Mark back, and I really liked it. There's a part in here that I'll talk about in the spoiler section where where they change some stuff in the end. They changed the ending from the book in the movie, but I honestly like the movie ending better because the book ending kind of felt like it was done, but it also felt kind of abrupt. I felt like the movie ending provided a lot more closure, and also the movie gave Captain Lewis much more of a full story arc because of much more much more active role she was put in this movie. So I really enjoyed that, and I liked the friendship between Captain Lewis and Mark, and just I love the banter between the crew. It's awesome. Long story short, go see this movie. It's amazing. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Really quickly, actually, yeah, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. There wasn't anything that I could really complain about. To me, as someone who really enjoyed the book, and I highly recommend you guys go check out the book. Audiobook that, I'm pretty sure it's still on YouTube. Listen to it. It's awesome. So spoiler section. So spoilers, pretty much, not much to spoil except the ending. This is for people who read the book that want to know what they changed. So some stuff they changed is the ending, pretty much, where instead of in the book, it's Beck that rescues Watney, and they kind of in the book they build up Beck and Watney are more of the best friends, but it seems like in the movie that Lewis and Watney are more closer friends, and that was cool. So Watney proposes this whole Iron Man idea of poking a hole in his suit to use the atmosphere, the escaping air as, an extra thrust. And of course, Lewis says no. But they at the end of the movie, they have Lewis. Lewis is the one, going to get Watney. And, Watney's too far. So Watney decides to poke a hole in his suit and do the whole Iron Man thing, and he's flying, and they do get to Lewis does manage to grab Watney, and there are a couple seconds there where you're like, oh crap, I don't think she's gonna get Watney. Oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. And when they grab Watney and she goes, got him, I literally felt myself exhale and go, oh my gosh. And just the uproar of the crowd. I love how they timed the shots of the people just that are being captivated all around the world. Just yeah, and I felt like that. People in my theater cheered. It was just a great moment. I loved how they changed the ending, and I love how in the end Mark is teaching his lesson. Teaching about what he learned to future astronauts, spreading this this intel. Everything he learned, all these experiences, and kind of showing his impact on human history, and just what his legacy is. I think because that was a big part of his kind of character struggle in a way. Is like, what am I gonna leave behind? In a way, if I die here, like, what are they gonna know about me? Things like that. That was something he struggled with. I like how they dealt with that in the ending. It's really nice. I also like, of course, Johansson and Beck. They show that like the end credit scene. I love the whole end credits part where they show all the Ares, the Ares 3 crew members post the mission to save Watney, and they're all back to their normal lives. That was cool. I like how it wrapped up. Overall, that was one of the only major changes to the book. Obviously, they censored some of Watney's dialogue. They didn't get to say it all because obviously, it's I think it's a PG-13 movie, but yeah, I was okay with that. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend you guys go see The Martian. It was a great movie, a great performance by Matt Damon, great kind of Ridley Scott back in form with the sci-fi suspense that we know and love from Ridley Scott. So it was great. Really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. I give it 5 out of 5 stars. Definitely one you need to go see. Go watch The Martian, and then go listen to the audiobook on YouTube. It's awesome. But anyway, this is Mr. J from Comic Frontline. Let me know what you thought about The Martian in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like this video to let me know you enjoyed it. And subscribe to Comic Frontline if you haven't already. And if you like what I do on Frontline, I would really appreciate it if you would go to Comic Frontline's YouTube channel page and go on the side where you see all our individual members' channels and go subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. All the stuff I do on Frontline, I also do on my channel. And over there, starting next week, I'll be covering The Flash and Arrow. So definitely go check that out. I'd really appreciate it. As always, guys, let me know what you thought about the movie in the comments below. This is Mr. J for Comic Frontline, and I'll see you guys later. Peace. Godspeed.